beautiful weekend ahead. 57 degrees in Oakland, 62 in San Jose, 59 degrees in downtown San Francisco.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Savage, Hot Talk 560 KSFO. We're talking about what kind of world do you want to live in? What highway are we on? Do we want to be on this highway? Do we want to create a new highway? What did Plato say? This guy knew what was going on, but that was Greece. This is San Francisco.
Is that the idea? To keep talking until finally we get it right? We're having the same conversations Plato and his friends had back in 400 B.C.
Oh, did you see in the paper the other day about that high school student who was caught cheating on her college board?
Oh, yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She said her teacher gave her the answers and told her that everyone cheats. That's the way the world works.
But I think it's sad. People are under a lot of pressure.
Let's face it here. If you were guaranteed that no one would find out, wouldn't you cheat?
Would you cheat? Would you? This is a book that pulls you in, plays with your mind, and dares you to put it down without saying what you think.
Plato's Republic has the kind of power to intrigue and infuriate that few works can equal. You can argue about anything, from whether we should allow certain kinds of music to be sold, whether we should censor the arts.
What is justice?
What is a great society? What ought it be?
What is authentic and what is fake?
How one has knowledge.
What do we teach the young?
Whatever it is, it's somewhere in Plato.
Plato's Republic follows the intellectual adventures of Socrates, who one night, 24 centuries ago, created an ideal city, the Republic, where all of mankind's problems are solved. Plato has been hailed as the father of philosophy, the first feminist, a dangerously naive idealist, and a fascist. Plato was born in a place that worshipped beauty and knowledge, Athens, 428 years before the birth of Christ. The newly completed Parthenon towered over the city, one of the crowning achievements of the world's first democracy. This was the Golden Age, where the first plays were performed and the first histories of the world were written, a time when the Athenians produced art and ideas that we still marvel at. But it was also a time of devastating human loss. For the first 23 years of Plato's life, the Peloponnesian War raged between Athens and its neighbor Sparta. Plato watched as the Athenian democracy was overthrown by aristocrats, then replaced by dictators before democracy seized control once again. The one constant through it all, in Plato's view, seemed to be corruption, brutality, and blind ambition. Still, he probably would have ended up in politics like the rest of his wealthy family if he hadn't met a sidewalk philosopher named Socrates.
Socrates seems to have stood out in absolutely every possible way. He said that he was to Athens what a gadfly is to a large, lazy horse, and that the gods had sent him there to prick Athens and to irritate it and to make it think seriously about the kind of life that its citizens were leading. He was there to make people uncomfortable.
The master wrote nothing himself. We know him through writers like the general, Xenophon, and the comic poet Aristophanes, who lampooned Socrates as the proprietor of a thinking shop.
Anger. I told you once, Samius, and I won't tell you again. Always interests me. Protagoras?
But the infamous Socratic method was captured most vividly by Plato in a series of imaginary conversations known as the Dialogues. He made his mentor the main character of more than 20 books, including the Republic. The action begins at the port of Piraeus, just outside Athens. Socrates bumps into an old friend who invites him home to a party. It's there that he seizes the occasion to start a conversation that will last all night.
Keithless, it's clear that you're a good and decent man, so if anybody knows what it means to be a good and just person, it's you.
The style of the book, like the Johnny Carson show. Here we are, we're gathered together, we're talking. Let's meet so-and-so. Let's see what he has to say. Let's meet Cephalus. Well, Cephalus, come on out and tell us what you think about things. Well, Polemarchus, come on out. What do you think? Well, here's that crazy guy, Thrasymachus. Come on out, Thrasymachus. What do you think it is? Well, it's like an ongoing, late-night TV show with these, quote, experts coming on. Here's your interviewer, your moderator, who says, well, that won't do. No, that idea of justice won't do, and this idea. And and the audience gets caught up in it.
It's perfectly obvious that everyone is just doing what is in their best interests. I mean, the reality is that justice in this day and age is what is in the interest of the stronger party. As a matter of fact, I'll take it even further. The advantage goes to the unjust person every single time.
If I understand you.
At this point in the story, Socrates smashes the theory that might makes right. But back in Athens, might smashed right. The leaders of the shaky democracy had only recently lost the Peloponnesian War. They were tired of being stung by Socrates' sharp tongue. In 399 BC, the 69-year-old philosopher was brought to trial for undermining the system.
The official charge was that he did not believe in the gods of the city and that he corrupted the young. He showed you how to find holes in what other people believed.
Socrates' trial was attended by half of Athens, including Plato. He says Socrates was offered his freedom if he would just stop questioning people. But he refused, proclaiming that the unexamined life was not worth living. Found guilty by a jury of 500, he suggested he be sentenced to free meals at City Hall for the rest of his life. They didn't laugh. He was condemned to die by drinking a poison made from the hemlock plant.
Well, is it what?
Back at the party, the rest of the company has been drawn into the debate.
I'd like to believe that honesty and morality and justice are qualities that are worth having, even if they never bring fame or glory or power, but I don't think you've begun to make your case.
Are you willing to compare the lives of two men, say, one poor, rather boring, innocent citizen who is wrongfully accused of theft and thrown into jail, with the mayor of the city, who's renowned as a dynamic, charismatic leader, but who in reality is robbing from the public trust, cheating on his wife, and getting away with all of it? Which of them is better off?
You want me to prove that virtue is its own reward.
But you have to prove that the good and honest person who goes unrewarded and unrecognized comes out ahead in the end.
You're on.
Plato tells us that virtue is internal to a person, that it's the harmony of the soul.
I've shown that morality is like health. Morality, indeed, is the health of the soul. It's essential to a happy and meaningful life, regardless of the consequences. You tell me what's preferable, being a sane, well-balanced person, or just appearing to be one? Would you rather act the part or live it? Even if no one ever notices or applauds.